Yeah, something through really quick. Sorry. I'm seeing Diana Ross randomly. This is so weird. So there's a Diana Ross connection to your mom.
Well, the connection is that I was obsessed with Diana Ross and the Supremes, and I was so obsessed that I would perform the song with a broom for my mother in the living room.
Wow, welcome back. His psychic readings of celebrities rocketed him to fame, and now he is the most sought-after medium in the world.
Wow.
Please welcome Tyler Henry.
Tyler, how are you?
Yes. Hi, Tyler. Okay, so we're going to get to your new Netflix show. We're all excited about it, Life After Death with Tyler Henry. But first, before you became famous, you were studying to be a hospice nurse. As a medium, was that a challenging environment to be in? I can't even imagine.
Well, you know, it was a natural synergy. I graduated high school at the age of 16, and at that point I knew I had this ability, but I didn't know if I wanted to be a medium in the public eye, so I felt the hospice would be kind of a natural route to go. But I very shortly thereafter actually ran into the dean of my college, who I'd actually read, and he encouraged me to go down that path instead, as I could really achieve the same thing I wanted to through hospice with readings.
Wow. And that's got to be cathartic on so many levels, especially for the loved ones. But what have you learned about life from talking to the departed?
Sure. You know, I've learned so much. It puts such an emphasis on the importance of saying it while we still have the chance. So many people that come to me with regret, wishing that they could have said something or done something differently. And I think to me it speaks to the importance of really validating our loved ones in the here and the now, while we have that chance to minimize regret in the future.
I just, you know, Tyler, before I get to my question, I just want to say thank you for, you know, even just the mindset of wanting to be a hospice nurse. I was with my grandmother and grandfather, and the people that worked in those facilities are angels on earth. They're weirdly incredible.
Yeah.
So I just want to say, like, I get that mindset, and I appreciate you for who you are. Now, with that said, let's get to the question. You work with a lot of celebrities. Now, I know there's got to be one that stands out as, like, the most surprising. Like, who was it and why?
I would say LaToya Jackson was one of the most stunning for me, because obviously I recognized her, and obviously I knew who she was hoping to hear from, which as a medium is a challenge, because I had to be able to connect to details that weren't public, weren't discussed in books, weren't on interviews. So it was really a fascinating challenge to be able to rise to and to be able to bring things through that were so personal, connecting with Michael Jackson, the human being, versus Michael Jackson, the superstar.
Wow.
Wow. So, Tyler, I just have a personal question to ask you. Did anyone ever compare you to Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell? Because
I've gotten Zach Morris and I get Macaulay Culkin.
Oh, yeah.
I was just on Netflix and your new show popped up. I'm like, Saved by the Bell's coming out with a new show? I thought you were Zach. I thought you were Zach
is
Morris.
a medium in this one.
Yeah.
It's the hair.
Oh, he likes it.
But now you said Macaulay, and I see that too.
Yeah.
Very handsome man. So let's talk about your new show, Life After Death with Tyler Henry, not Zach Morris. We really want to know about your technique, Tyler. So are you really writing things down when you're scribbling on those notepads, or is that just to pretend like you know what's going on?
It's really a way to kind of turn on. So scribbling is really just a process that I've trained myself. Think of it kind of like doodling, right? When you're on the phone, you kind of doodle, you kind of get into an active daydream. That's essentially what that process does for me. It allows so that when I'm not scribbling, I can maintain some sense of normalcy. And then when I am, it's time to work.
Tyler, when you're around people, or even like when you're interviewing us, do you have to shut down certain premonitions or thoughts?
That's a good question.
Certainly things can come through. I liken it more to a volume dial, in the sense that there's always background noise. And when I do an interview, I have to kind of turn that background noise down. But when I go to a reading, I can kind of consciously turn it up through scribbling, through focus. And that's really how I do what I do.
How about your voice? Just the way you're talking right now. I'm usually like an energetic person. When I talk to you, I'm like, oh, thank you, Tyler. Right? It's like he's very calming in the moment. I think that helps you.
Sitting here listening to him talk, I'm like, it's like being
hypnotic.
in Sedona, Arizona. Yeah.
Does that help with what you do?
Thank you. No, I appreciate it. I try to be as concise as I can, especially when we're live, you know.
Yes. I mean, a pro.
I know. Okay, so Tyler, why is this new show that we're all excited about a personal journey for you?
This is really a personal journey, because not only do you see these stories of everyday people and extreme resilience, but I also got to explore a family mystery, which, to put it bluntly, was intense. We discovered a few years ago that who my mother thought were her biological parents were not. And indeed, my mom had actually been stolen as a baby.
Wow.
And the woman that took her went on to commit a number of homicides, as well as many other very painful things. And so the show really is about discovery, identity, trying to find the answers, and really the power in being able to tell our story and own it without shame. I think there's a lot of power there, and you see that both through the readings and through this mystery.
That is
I
fascinating.
wanted to ask Tyler. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think we all want to ask the same thing.
Tyler,
Do you hear anything about
because
us?
We're talking so much
Ask him,
about other
ask him.
people, but like I wanted to say, like, what do you do to like kind of make sure that Tyler's okay? Like, is there anything that you've read or like from somebody and you said that this is really disturbing to you? Like, who do you talk to if you've picked up something that disturbed you?
Well, I have to have a strong support system. And I mean, there's definitely been times where in readings I've said things that were tough. I think we can think back to my reading with Alan Thicke. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but I sat with him, relayed a very significant heart condition, and then he passed away tragically about 3 months after of that very thing. So sometimes you got to talk about the tough stuff as a way to be preventative, as a way of empowering a person. But it's definitely a difficult job in some ways.
Wow. Thank you so much, Tyler, for chatting with us. And for everyone at home, check out Life After Death with Tyler Henry streaming right now on Netflix. Thanks, Tyler. We'll be right back.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.